All right. Second game here that I'm doing of the season. So, like I said, I'm going to be kind of focusing on the Dodgers at first. So, we got the Sunday game. We got the Dodgers versus Atlanta. Saturday's game, I think, is definitely going to be more interesting to watch with Trevor Glasnow. But tomorrow's game is going to be closer. So, right now, percentage wise, it is a dead even game, 51 to 49. To honestly, I could run this model several times, and I'm sure it would switch a couple percent either way. So you can see all of the overlap here between the two. And in baseball, it's quite a bit. The one thing I would point out, I'm pretty sure this is a 3-game series. And what's always interesting to look at this is tomorrow's what they call the getaway game for the Braves. So it's always interesting to see how that's going to affect a team's motivation to play. Let's come down here to the center one. Let's look at the scores. The scores are showing, when you look at the median scores here, 6-6. Those are the median scores. You see with the Braves, you got a little bit more of that upper end there. And again, that's just part of doing the Monte Carlo simulation as well. You get those distributions. But I definitely expect it to be a high-scoring game. And I do expect it to be a close game. So neither team has I think Max Fried is definitely a top pitcher. I'm not sure that he's necessarily having at his best right now. So with the batting average against the 222, he's certainly better than what we have here with Paxton. I also don't think Paxton has been going quite as far. So again, this should be interesting. We've got a righty against a lefty here. And this year I added the bullpens here, so you got the Atlanta bullpen, which is pretty much about the same as what it's showing over here is what the Dodgers are. So again, you got Marcell Ozuna, who has really been hitting it well this year. Meanwhile, the Dodgers really have a pretty deep lineup, as one has noticed. Oftentimes, their bottom third has been lagging in the game tomorrow. That is not the case at all. You got Andy Pages, who's a rookie who's really been playing quite well. Kike Hernandez, who's playing pretty reasonable. But again, he's a solid player. And Miguel Rojas. This is unusual for Miguel Rojas. I don't think he's traditionally that strong of a hitter, but they got a strong lower third batting tomorrow. And I think that's definitely going to make a difference. Let's look at some trends down here. So overall, you've got the Braves. They've been pretty much playing about 500 baseball here their last 10 games. When they're losing, they're losing pretty close games. They've got that run differential kind of holding above that line there and holding pretty even. The Dodgers have been increasing a bit. They had a pretty bad streak for a while, but you can see it's kind of holding even there at about +2. Let's go and look at some of the performance numbers. So when you look at the top upper left here, we're expecting to see both teams put up quite a few hits. So those are singles. Looking like again, this is matchup by matchup. So it's taking the hitter versus the pitcher, taking consideration lefty righty combo. So it's showing that the Braves should be getting some pretty good power performance numbers here, as you see quite a few doubles, a couple home runs is what it's showing. It's also showing that Paxton is going to give up some walks tomorrow, and the Braves are probably good at taking walks. And it's also looking like Paxton isn't going to be a strikeout pitcher. Which I think is pretty par for the course for him. We come over to the Dodgers side, again, looks like they're not expecting to get quite as many walks tomorrow as what the Braves are. That's going to make a difference in the game, and the power number is a little bit higher there. If we go down here to the bottom right and left, so if you look at the left here, the OPS is slightly higher for the Braves at 900 versus 850. So all things considering, that's quite a bit of power for both of those teams. When you come down here for the batting average, both teams are batting right around 310 is what the averages are coming out to. So expect a lot of base runners on the game tomorrow. I would expect probably some base running to go with that as well. The rule changes from last year are really encouraging teams to steal bases and gets movement on that. on there as well. But again, both of those teams are also expecting to be putting up some power numbers as well. When you look at the lineups, that makes sense. So it should be a fun game tomorrow. It looks like both teams are going to be it's going to be pretty equally matched. Sometimes it's difficult when you watch a really strong pitcher on one team and the other team is say got their number 5 in the rotation, is it can give some lopsided games at times. Not to mean it's always going to be that way, but that's what this. But it's projecting tomorrow that both of these pitchers will be pretty equal. I know that Max Fried is definitely an experienced pitcher, but those are the numbers that he's put up so far. So we've got about 5 games. I think he's got about 5 or 6 starts under his belt. So I think we're going to start seeing some of those crazy numbers start to kind of even out about now. We're about 25% of the way through the season. So I think we're going to see some stability in the performance numbers. So should be fun to watch. Like I said, I love baseball. And I'm still working on some of the formats, some of these slides, and how I'm going to do this. Obviously, can't do every game like I do with the NFL. So if anyone has any ideas out there, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, hit me up. Thanks.